Going on YouTube? It's your boy KTP, and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. So today we're gonna be doing like a mid drop fade with locks on top. So let's get into it, man. So first you want to start off clipper all the way close, set your first initial ball guideline. It's not really ball because my clippers aren't zero gap, but it's literally right above it. So then after that we're gonna come back with um no guard all the way open, and then we going up about a half of an inch, and then we just gonna follow that all the way around the head. Y'all know when I do my fades I like to do both sides at the same time just to keep everything consistent. All right, we want to do multiple strokes, making sure everything is laid down to that desired length. Now we're gonna start taking that first initial guideline out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna notch it, right? We're gonna go one lever at a time until it's completely taken out, right? Slowly but surely, man, using the corners of your blades in certain areas, flicking or using the flick out motion to kind of blend this area out. Pay attention to the growth pattern, right? You cut in the direction that the hair is going, right? So meaning if it's growing to the left, you're cutting to the right if you're going against the grain, and vice versa. If you're going with the grain, if it grows to the left, you lay it down going to the left. All right, man. So now the next step after that, we're gonna take that one guard completely closed and we're gonna follow those steps. We're gonna go up about a half of an inch or finger's width all the way around the head. Multiple strokes, cutting one, combing one, making sure everything is at the desired length. And then you're going to again follow it all the way around the head. I found that when doing the fade this way, it's much easier to stay consistent. Now, I do know some people who like to fade one side and then do the other side. I mean, if you know your steps and you know where you are in your fade, you can do that, right? It lets you do one entire side and then you can go do the other side. But for me, it's just easier to go all the way around, do everything at one time. It just, I don't know, it helps me move a little bit faster and it also keeps me consistent, right? So, but just take your time when doing this. And now we're taking that line out, right? So then you come back in with your half guard all the way open. And you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna notch at it, meaning you go from open one notch down until you get to closed. And you just using those corners, man, and you going in between the teeth, in between the hairs, right? Using specific teeth. Um, to kind of blend this area out, right? Use your wrist, flick, let the machine do what it's supposed to do, right? Light strokes with it, man, but just keep everything consistent. When you cut something, you comb it or brush it if you prefer to use a brush. So you removing all the hair that you've cut, right? And you're also laying the hair back into its position. So you can see, oh, okay, I did actually take hair off here, or I didn't take hair off there, right? So make sure you keep a brush or a comb in your hand, man, and just stay consistent with it. Y'all don't know by now, I need y'all to know Hype Beats made this beat, man. So again, all his information is dropped down in the description. If you're trying to get some beats for videos or contents, or if you make music, don't hesitate to hit him up, man. All right, so now we going with the grain, right? I have my 1.5 on and I'm laying everything down. I think it's a 1.5 closed, and I'm just going with the grain, laying everything down, right? It's just setting me up for the next step to come back with the 1.5 all the way open to blend everything together. No, it's not going to take the line completely out, but it is going to soften it enough for the detail work, which is when I come in with the one guard all the way open or multiple different guards, right? Sometimes no guard and just detail. But keep everything consistent, man. Again, comb one, right? When you cut, you need to comb it to lay everything back down. But see, now here, I'm using that 1.5 all the way open, right? Just going right back against the grain, against what I just did. going in the direction that the hair is growing, right? So remember, if it grows to the left, you cut to the right, or vice versa. And during this process, you're doing your notching steps as well. So you come all the way open, then you go one notch, one notch, one notch, one notch until you're completely closed. And then you come back in with that one guard and you detail work. Also, man, when you're doing cuts like this, bro, sometimes you have to spin the client into different areas to get different lightings, right? In certain spaces, the light might give off the illusion that a certain area is darker than another area when that's not necessarily the case. Or sometimes the shape of a client's head, right? Sometimes they have creases and folds in their head that gives off an illusion of, oh, it's darker in this area. But this is why you make sure you go over that area multiple times, right? Making sure everything is laying down and everything is consistent, right? And then you have to move them around so that way you can get different lighting and you can see it from different angles, because it can be tricky, right? But the more you practice, the more your eyes will become trained to the way different scalps look and the way hair grows in different areas and what can cause it to look darker here or lighter in this area. And it gets a little easier, right? Confidence wise. But just be confident in your steps, right? Be confident in your process and just go with the flow. Now we prepping for the lining. I already came in with some got to be, laid everything down. And now we coming in with the liners. I apologize for the angle. Again, I'm using my neck mount. So when you in the middle of cutting, sometimes you're not paying attention to the way it's looking. You just be in the vibe. So excuse that. But yeah, start with one vertical bar, then you work your way to the other side, or you can start in the middle. It's all up to you, right? It takes your creative eye. But now I'm setting myself up. I'm moving the client head. I'm using the tip of the nose as a reference, and then I go straight up, go into the middle, and I work my way from the middle to one side, matching it from the middle to the vertical bar, and then I'm going to work my way back to the other side, doing the same steps. On this cut, man, we kept it natural. He didn't want any enhancements or anything like that. So this is why I always stress, man, learning how to cut, learning how to do the basics before adding enhancements. Because if all you know how to do is enhancements, what happens when a client come into the shop that doesn't want enhancements? Then what? If you feel like, oh man, I can't cut without enhancements, you're gonna be intimidated by doing a cut with no enhancements. So once you get the basics down, then you come in with enhancements and you excuse me, and then you perfect that. But get used to cutting without it first. So now if you don't need to use it, you don't have to use it. Enhancements are only to enhance, not to make the cut. All right, so now we coming in and we just cleaning everything up, right? We're using our trimmers to clean all the hair off. Again, I like to leave the hair around the edge of the blend so that way it gives a little contrast when I'm cutting, right? So that way, I don't know, for me, it just helps me see the blend a little bit better. Now we lining up the goatee, right? Coming underneath the neck, lay the client back to make it a little more relaxing for them. But it also makes it easier for you because sometimes clients don't like to lift the head all the way up. So if you lay their head back, they have no choice but to. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it easier for you to be able to see what you're doing. Right? Now we lining up the mustache. Light strokes with it, man. Just be gentle with it. Let the liners do what they're gonna do, or trimmers, whatever you want to call them. Right? And stay consistent on both sides. Fairly simple. now we're going to use the hitters just to solidify the liner, right? We started off with the babies just to set a baseline, right? Now we come in with the hitters, and then after that, you clean everything up with your straight razor, your blade, right? Just to set everything. But right now, we coming in with a harder, or a sharper pair of liners or trimmers to really solidify that lineup, and then you come back in with the straight razor. But you stay consistent with it. You already set the liner. You just tracing over it. All right, when you're doing your blades, make sure you replacing your blade with every client. You are dragging dead skin. You do not want to transfer that from one client to the next client. Make sure you are changing each blade. Then, when you're doing it, you're laying the blade at a 45-degree angle with your opposite hand. You're stretching the skin away from you, right, to create tension so that way the blade can just glide. If you need to, use some type of gel or some type of lubricant, right, to make it easier to be able to slide the blade. Me, I'm using an exposed razor. I prefer to use an exposed razor. You don't necessarily have to do that. It is going to take you time to get comfortable with the razor. But use your opposite hand. Make sure you pull away to create tension to make it easier to drag. And then you dust off the client, right? When you're done using the razor, you don't have to leave the dead skin just sitting there, right? But the razor is going to help everything pop. It's just going to put everything into place. Make sure you hit the top of the lip, right? You hit the top of the goatee just to solidify everything. And yeah, man, we coming up to the end of the video. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, right? If y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new, turn those post notifications on, man. I got more content coming. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, man, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.